Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast. Hello there everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show Podcast. You might have guessed by the title of this week's episode. Yes, we are coming to you from the Kids with Cancer Night 2025. It seems like no time since the last one. This event rolls around so quick, but we are very excited for this show. So, strap yourselves in. We've got quite a packed podcast filled with all sorts of great music and interviews from behind the scenes as well. Yeah, looking forward to this one. Well, of course, let's get through our introductions though. As always, we don't have any listener mail, we don't have any weekly drone, none of that stuff because we have a specialist episode this week. So, if you do want to send us in all that stuff though, you can. Our email address, bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Send us in your messages and we'll do our best to bring them to a future show. Also, don't forget about weekly drone as well. If you have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff that we've been talking about over this past few weeks, or stuff to come, then send us in your weekly drones. Best way to do it. Alright, well, with that being said, I have to say, this event every year continues to get bigger and better, arguably. Yeah, we were just talking about this before I turned the microphone on, that there's been some iconic performances from over the years from this event. Some incredible bands have thumped out some big tunes, and we're really looking forward to this year. Of course, St. Lawrence O'Toole thumping out some of the modern day music that we're really excited to see, and also the 70s tribute band taking us back in time to the 70s, and, from what I've been told, quite a special tribute to Dr. Richard Parkes, MBE. Yeah, that will bring us music from the 80s and 90s, apparently. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. As you can hear, it's quite quiet behind me. People are setting up right now. The crowd hasn't filed in. There's Ewan. How you doing? And I'm talking to myself into the microphone here. So, right now we're just setting up screens, advertising, and the seating arrangements for everybody. But, it's quiet for now as I'm doing my introduction. But I'm sure this place will be absolutely rammed. I think by all accounts it is absolutely sold out. Was it 340, Gary, we have in? Yeah. There you go, 340 people. That's so far, exactly, yeah. So there may well be more. But the event continues to get bigger and better, and honestly, raising a ton of money for a very worthy cause. The Children's Cancer Unit there at the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast, and this event does raise a ton of money every year, and it's a great example of how the bagpiping world can pull together and help such a worthy cause. Alright, well, at this point, I'm going to get my walking shoes on to see who I can catch here behind the scenes before everything kicks off. So, I'll be back in a wee second. Do you wish piping could be fun again? Bagpipers around the world continue to struggle with their instrument, despite hours of hard work trying to get better. Bagpiping should be fulfilling. Your hard work should pay off, showing improvement and the freedom to express yourself musically. Or why do it? The Dojo University believe every piper should be able to free themselves from musical frustration, proven over more than a decade of successful teaching and accessible anywhere with an internet connection. The Dojo is unlike any other bagpipe learning experience in the world. Let the Dojo channel your enthusiasm into a fun and fulfilling program that will empower you with the knowledge to fall in love with piping all over again. So go to dojouniversity.com/Big Rab and take advantage of our 30-day free trial of Dojo Premium membership. Join the global community of students today and rediscover the fun of bagpiping. dojouniversity.com/Big Rab for a 30-day free trial. Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk. So, as you can hear behind me, there's a lot of getting ready, I think. So, yeah, the guys at St. Lawrence O'Toole are just getting the pipes out of the box, drums out of the cases, and I think they're about to blow a tune or two here. So, yeah, let's see what they're doing as they're warming up. And this is what I'm going to say. This is St. Lawrence O'Toole warming up. Yeah, so let's get a listen. Yeah, I know. That was them warming up. Oh my word. Yeah, so we're going to be in for quite a very special performance tonight. So, yeah, let's see what else I can find here. And I'm roaring about backstage. So, let's see what else I can bump into when I'm running about backstage. So, from St. Lawrence O'Toole warming up in quite a packed tuning room, I'm now out in the hall where people are trying to get whatever space they can to actually tune up and blow a tune. So you heard the St. Lawrence O'Toole drum corps there having a batter on the bar. I think the 70s tribute band are about to blow a tune here up in the tuning room. So yeah, let's get a listen to them. Do you know something? Simple tunes played well like that can be really effective, and yeah, the 70s tribute band are definitely a testament to that. Oh my word. Right, I think there's enough of me mucking about upstairs at the final tuning rooms here. I'm going to head downstairs where the action's about to begin. So, yeah, let's head that way. So, I ran into none other than Chris Pollard. Chris, you've got a kilt on.
Yeah, first time in 7 and a bit years, I think.
Yeah, so tell us what you're doing then. You're obviously playing tonight.
Yeah, so I'm playing in the 80s section of the sort of XFM, I suppose you could call it.
That's part of the Richard Parks tribute.
Part of the Richard Parks tribute, yeah. So yeah, as I say, it's been like 7 years since I've had a set of sticks in my hand or anywhere near me.
How have you found that?
In some ways it was like I was never away, but in others I was as nervous. When you're walking into practice and you're looking around the room and it's like guys that were in the band when I was a nipper that I looked up to, and then guys I played with, and some of the guys that are there after me, and it's like the talent in the room
was scary almost.
Intimidating. Even having been there for so long, but then when we started to play, it was like, I kind of did miss it, and have really enjoyed putting this together and being part of something special. So, and obviously it's for a fantastic cause as well. So,
absolutely. So, how did they reach the decision to put you in the 80s group? Just names in a hat kind of thing?
I don't honestly know. I think, so myself and Ewan and Robbie Smith are the three that are playing on the bass tonight, and we kind of just who wants to do what and let the dice sort of fall as it may. And, to be honest, the sets are all kind of classic sets, so we all kind of knew, if I hadn't played them before, we still knew them. So
there you go. Yeah, so it's kind of like bagpipe karaoke. You know exactly what's going to happen.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So honestly, we haven't seen what you guys have been doing behind the scenes. It's been very cryptic. So we're more than happy to see us all here in one place. Have you found that's been a bit of a gathering?
Yeah, it certainly has. We've had a few get-togethers just to sort of bring it all together. I don't think the band that will be on stage tonight in its entirety has actually yet played together.
Really? Right. Okay.
Completely. So we've had 80%, let's say, at each of the practice, but it's not necessarily the same 80 each time.
No, I see. Well, here, I have to say, we have a very excited audience looking forward to this. And I was chatting to Richard Parks off the mic, and he said he's actually quite nervous about this too. He doesn't know what to expect.
Neither do we, so we're in good company.
There you go. Well, Chris, enjoy your night. Thanks a million for chatting with us. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. another Kids with Cancer night, and we're catching up again. How are you?
Yeah, I am the best. How's you, Rob?
The best. Here, this is some crack, man.
Oh,
You know,
brilliant.
as we're standing here, the 70s tribute band is gathering around us.
I know. It's fantastic, isn't it?
There's something special, aren't there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, anyway, the reason I'm chatting with you is because you're heading to America. Tell us about this.
We are super excited. We headed on the 18th of April, Good Friday, to go to Norfolk in Virginia. So we're playing in the Tattoo over there.
I was going to ask you what takes you out there. So a tattoo then?
It's a Tattoo. It's actually their 205th anniversary.
Wow.
So,
So you're heading over there with the band then?
yep. Oh, the full band's going across. Aye. The full
Do you
band.
want to give the band a shout out then? Who are you heading with?
Yeah, we are heading with Major Sinclair. So we
the
are.
Sinclair.
Yeah, the Sinclair. So we're away for 10 days.
Oh, fantastic. So is it going to be a week long of sightseeing and eating food, or
It is 10 days of work. So
just a pile of playing?
a
And
pile
all
of
that?
playing. So, it's something we love doing. So I think we're going to run schools and everything like that.
as
So,
well,
aye,
yeah.
it's got to be amazing.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Like showing some of those young American kids, here's how you set a pipes work.
I know, it's class.
That won't be easy, but
Or showing them how a bass drum and what
well,
a bass
that
drum
too.
does.
Yeah. Yeah, please don't run up and kick it.
Preferably no.
Oh, absolutely, aye. The last I was chatting with you was at the Worlds last year.
Yeah.
How did you find the World Championships last year?
No, that was tight going. Obviously, as you know, we're great had to qualify, and unfortunately, we didn't qualify last year. But it's just one of them things.
That's
isn't it?
bands. That's
That's
bands.
pipe bands.
Yeah, you can work all season long
Yep.
and then it just stops.
Yep.
That's
So
it.
we're getting ready for this season. So hopefully it changes this year.
Absolutely. Well, here, if anything, I heard the band out in St Patrick's Day just were sounding quite sharp.
We are getting there. Yeah, nice new medley, and yeah. So we'll get there. Aye.
You're not
Sure.
giving the game away. You're
Do
not
you
telling me
know
what tunes you're playing.
Real good bunch. Real good bunch as so real good wee family. So
Absolutely. Well, here, when you're crossing America, fill your boots, as they say.
oh,
See, the food over there is amazing.
simply so.
Oh, here.
Simply so. Looking forward to that.
Last time I was there, they had to roll me back home again. It was mad.
You'll maybe be doing that with me today.
So
And I have just spied my lead tip in this 70s band.
Oh, right. All right, no, fine, there he is. That's the boss.
That's the boss.
Better behave
That's the
yourself,
boss.
Aye. So, do you know something I discovered is kilt extenders. So, if you need them, you can get them.
Preferably no.
So, if you do put on a few spuds, then you can get kilt extenders. Thanks a million, Lorna, and here, have the best time. Yeah, enjoy yourself.
We will. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
Leadership of Head Major in Colorado and Lead Drummer John Sullivan. Welcome from Penn.
There's our folks. A couple of special sets there from the 70s Tribute Band. And do you know something? Both the 70s Tribute Band and St Lawrence O'Toole share their same dressing room upstairs. Well, I say dressing room, it's more of a practice room where everybody's tuning up. And the crowd that is up there, never mind down here in the main hall. Yeah, I have to say, the 70s Tribute Band have been definitely drawing a huge audience here tonight and are very popular with the crowd. So if you couldn't tell by the roar that went up there. Yeah, well, we're about to look forward to more music from them later on in the show. But, of course, next up, St Lawrence O'Toole. Well, I think at this point I'll be a little bit cheeky. I think I might take myself a wee break. Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band Supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Ghillie Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs. Wallace Bagpipes. Quality, pride and passion. Made in Scotland. Proud bagpipe supplier to the Red Hot Chili Pipers. From the most basic of sets to the most elaborate, they have something for everyone. Also offering bagpipe repairs and restoration. From a simple makeover to a full overhaul. From a chipped mount to a complete replacement. Wallace Bagpipes have you covered. Visit wallacebagpipes.com for more information or contact your nearest dealer.
It's a pleasure for us to be here today to support this event. We're going to start off with our first two sets. We have a set of 4/4 marches, or something like 4/4 marches. We start off as 4/4 marches anyway. The first tune I wrote myself, actually first time, is the third tune. It's Crazy Frazee, it's called, and it's written after my daughter, who is somewhere in the room here, down the back. And then we follow that with a set of hornpipes. The first tune is a tune called Hamilton's Nutsack. Some of you guys might be familiar with the tune. Hamilton Bracken is actually here tonight. He's an English man who used to play in the band many years ago. And he was over for St Patrick's Day and extended his stay to be here tonight. So I think he's down there somewhere in the room. So I'm sure he'd take bribes or some sort of incentive if you wanted to find out why the tune is actually named Hamilton's Nutsack. But I'll leave that up to you guys. Try and find him first of all and then figure out the name. sweaty working. Time for a pint. Okay, we have 2 more sets in this half. We're gonna do, the next set is the first half of our brand new medley. So it's our 2025 competition medley. It's actually been really good having this concert in March, because it's meant to have been able to really whip the life out of these guys behind me to get this medley up and running. It's just a shame that the season doesn't start until July now, so hopefully we're well ready. Hope you enjoyed.
So, I'm joined with Pipe Major David Caldwell. David, how are you?
Very well, Rob, thanks.
How did you find that first run then with the 70s band today?
Yes, it was a great experience for all the band. Our first time to play in a concert type setting. It's really a competition rehearsal, but played some new tunes tonight which people probably haven't heard before, some have. First one, the 12/8, Glasgow and Hamburg. And then the other.
Such a great set, though. Do you know what I mean? I think I was saying to this just off mic there. Like, these are tunes we haven't heard in a brave while, but now they're back. Everyone's going, "Oh, remember that?" Do you know?
That's our idea, to try and establish the old music. Well, very new to a lot of people. Somebody come up to me and said, "When did that tune be written?" In this, I said, about 60 years ago. You know, and it's the archive has so much fabulous music.
Absolutely, and I have to say, John Scullion's drumming complements it so perfect. Yeah. How do you find playing with that chord behind you?
Very, very simple. It actually enhances the piping wonderfully. There, you've got your phrase, you've got your strong note, got your cut accents, and all you got to do is, once the drummers come in, it just makes it so much easier for a band to get together.
It just flows, yeah.
Oh, them lovely long-held notes that just give out a lovely melodic line, you know.
That's it. So you mentioned the 12/8 then at the beginning. What else did you guys play?
We played 2 4/4s. The Earl of Mansfield is the second one, which would have been a 2/4 march, and we composed into 4/4 time by shots. And that was shot settings. We played at both the tunes. Again, we twist here and there of dotted notes, took the parson today, but really lovely music.
It's the phrasing of it. That's what I was going to say of it. You know, as you say, it's holding in places and then releasing in others. And
yes.
I just really love that. And then even with the drum corps too, you're finding there's that slight push and pull with the drummers as well. You know, the tension and release, as they say in the music world.
You know, sometimes certain tunes of the band practice you have to try and force to get that medley, but not within those pieces of. And John's scores are just. You could walk all day to them, in truth, and you'd never deviate in tempo.
No, that's it, steady as a rock, yeah. So then what was the next set then you guys played?
Next set?
Yeah.
Next set we'll be going to be playing will be the medley that Joshua played. Peter Mackenzie Warren starts off with. And Jimmy Tweedy Sea Legs is a hornpipe, and some, again, great music. That's so easy. Well, it's not easy to play. It's difficult enough. However, it's easier with the drumming. And we find with a group of pipers coming together, just makes all the difference for them, you know.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to say that we've been playing you guys a lot now on the radio. It seems to be requested quite a bit from the piping crowd. How did you find the reaction of the audience here tonight?
Actually, it was very good. People seemed very excited about it, and I've had different phone calls prior to this and saying, look, we're really coming to hear the tribute band as well, we're looking forward to this, and we will be doing the All-Ireland Championships from the association. They're quite happy for us to do it, and you know, we want to bring new people on board as well, because we don't want this to drop away. We always want a good number of people. If we're asked to do something and others can't make it, at least we've got a band we can still go with.
There you go, absolutely. So there is that opportunity then for folk if they really want to play.
Absolutely. If there's pipers and drummers out there who would like to have the opportunity to play with us, get in touch, and we'll be very happy to have them.
Absolutely. Well, here, you can drop us a line to the Big Rab Show and we'll put you in contact. bigrabshow@gmail.com, yeah.
Brilliant. That's great to have, and
excellent.
We're very excited.
Well, David, I have to say, it's been such a pleasure listening to you guys since the outset to right now. We're still discovering new, old music. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And funny, the last piece we're going to play tonight is probably the most iconic piece of Shots, which is Cullen Bay.
Oh, way, really? Oh, brilliant.
We'll be doing that later on tonight. And John's got a fantastic introduction to it as well, and that'll be exciting.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Because that's such a signature set for the Shots, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Well, I can't wait to hear it. So,
hope it
David,
goes well.
Thanks so much for joining us, and I hope it's not too long before we see you guys again.
Thanks very much indeed, Rob.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Longing for the day till I see your face again.
Who am I standing with?
Catherine McKeown.
Hi, Catherine, how you doing? So you've just come off stage now, but not for drum majoring. You're doing something different this year.
Yeah, I was singing 2 songs and I'm relieved it's all over now.
I have to say, I heard it and it was absolutely amazing. How much work would you put into singing?
Well, I've sang since no age, and I would do a few weddings. I've done family weddings, and I've just sang at different things, but I think tonight was a good cause to be singing at. So.
Absolutely. Were you nervous?
Very, very, very nervous. Even asked Katie and Jason. I texted them about 10 million times saying it's that nervous I couldn't do it.
So it's a lot different from not having the mace in your hand then, yeah?
Yeah, but even whenever I'm competing I'm still nervous, so it doesn't change anything.
There you go. I have to say though, it was quite a poignant moment, I think is the word I want to use. There was quite a lot of emotional people in the audience watching that second song there. What was it like for you up there?
Okay, it was emotional, yeah, but obviously it's a hurtful time too, and emotional time, so it's nice to everyone to experience.
There you go. Yeah, and you've got an audience watching. Do you want to say hello? No, they don't want to say
Katie
hello.
wants to say hello. She wants on the Big Rab Show.
No, say hello, Katie. No. God. Well, here, Catherine, well done. That sounded fantastic. And when's the album coming out?
Oh no, there'll be no album coming out.
Well, here, I don't know if we have karaoke in the sidebar after.
Oh, I might do a few karaoke
There
later.
you go, sounds good. Yeah. But I don't know, I'd be a bit prone to Sinatra myself after a few pints.
Sure, you can do a wee sing song with me.
Aye, sounds good.
That sounds good.
Thanks for playing, Catherine. Cheers.
No bother.
Well, the second half is about to begin, and it's time for that special tribute that everyone has been talking about here tonight. Yes, the special tribute band to Dr. Richard Parkes MBE. So, let's get a listen to it, shall we?
charge of the band now tonight. Maybe one night only. Don't know. We're going to play the. Hold on, what are we going to play? The Sandpiper and the Fiddler's Rally.
Wow, what a tribute. And do you know something? On my way from point A to point B, from the floor where all the action happens, yeah, I managed to grab like a 2-minute conversation with the man himself. So let's hear from Dr. Richard Parks, MBE. I'm joined with the man of the moment. That was quite a moment, Richard. What did you think of that?
It was amazing. Brought back a lot of memories. You know, it was a very, very nice thing to do.
Yeah, and like a lot of those players that were on stage as well hadn't played for quite a while, and there they are up there thumping out some big tunes.
Yeah, no, some of them many years. Yeah, I haven't played with them, but
it's good to do it. Good to do it and get to see them all.
And playing some signature sets as well. I don't know. The whole thing came across as just a lot of fun. You know?
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's it. And you have the pipes on your arm here yourself, and you had to tune yourself. And
yes.
How did you find that?
It was emotional. Let me just say, it was quite emotional to be doing it. You know, I felt that when I was playing. You know, it was good to be playing those tunes. I'll probably never play with that group again. You know, so it was nice to do it.
Oh, it was such a huge moment, and I think the crowd really recognised that too. You know, the cheer that you folks got was just amazing.
Yeah, no, it was great. So, very well received.
Yeah, Richard, thank you for taking the time. I know you're going from point A to point B, but thank you for taking time to chat with us on the show.
No problem, Rob.
Thanks
very much.
Cheers. Yeah, that was very cheeky of me, I have to be honest. I really did catch Richard on the hop. So, thank you, Richard. Yeah, I know you were kind of running from one place to another, but yeah, honestly, a very special moment on stage. And I'm so glad he said the word emotional. You know, I get criticism for using that word, but genuinely, that was a really special moment, for sure. Not only for the ones in the band, but for the folk in the crowd too that witnessed it. That was really something special. And I have to say, hearing that version of Fiddler's Rally again, what? Whew, I hope you folk enjoyed it just as much as I did. Well, we're about to get into the second half of the show now, good and proper, where the 70s Tribute Band will be back again to play those medley selections, and we will be hearing more from St. Lawrence O'Toole. What did you think about that new medley, by the way? I know it was only the first half, but that was interesting, wasn't it? Especially with the drum corps too, like incorporating things like backsticking, and I noticed the bass drum doing some deadening and like rising and falling, and that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, we could talk more about St. Lawrence O'Toole's brand new medley that we just heard in another show, but let's hear some more music now from the rest of the Kids with Cancer charity night. So, yeah, I think we'll start. Looking behind me here, yeah, it's the 70s Tribute Band. So, let's get a listen to them then, shall we?
We're going to hear now is the 1973 World Pipe Band winning medley. Consists of Peter Mackenzie Warren, Loch Broom Bay, Dalnahassee, Over the Bows of Ballindollach, Lord James Murray, The Little Cap, Jimmy Tweedy Sea Legs, and Walking the Floor. 70s Tribute Band.
Wow, the 70s tribute band there, and that huge signature score set. Wow, I just don't know. The music from that band speaks for itself, and it has been a conversation pretty much for most of the evening. But also another conversation for most of the evening has been that amazing tribute band to Dr. Richard Parkes, MBE. Some of the music they have played on stage has just brought back so many memories, and also seeing a lot of those players on the stage too that haven't been playing for a long time. Yeah, I'm seeing the smiles on their faces, rediscovering their love of piping, and it's just honestly so heartwarming to see. And honestly, yeah, I do believe that Richard Parkes is genuinely moved by it. So they're about to play their second half, and honestly, I'm expecting to hear some big, big tunes. So let's get a listen to the Richard Parkes tribute band.
turn to something else, which I'm very, very proud to be part of this band and this group of players. But it won't be possible without one person who obviously came up earlier on and played and enjoyed himself that much. I think he's maybe going to come out of retirement again. So I'd just like this opportunity to ask Richard, will he come forward and accept a little token of our appreciation. Richard Parks, MBE. There's no better man to present Richard with this than this guy coming up here who was the pipe sergeant in 1990. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please welcome Ian Wood.
Good evening, folks. When Gary asked me to be a part of this little token, I was delighted to say yes. I've known Richard for about 50 years. We sort of first met when Big Marshall Montgomery and Rafferty Pipe Band sort of combined under the name Fremont to compete. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, one thing about Richard playing in his band is you need one thing, and that's patience. Richard likes to tune, and you spend a lot of time just standing about, and that's one of the attributes of which you have to have, because he likes to tune. I would go home from the band some nights and my wife would say, well, how is the band going tonight? And I would say, well, I don't know, we didn't play very much, but we tuned plenty. Anyway, beside all that, that's why you win 13 world titles and probably most of a dozen other ones. So it gives me pleasure to say to Richard, please accept this, Richard, with best wishes.
A lot of people go on. Firstly, thanks to Gary for running the charity concert. Every year does a brilliant job, raises so much money for the Children's Cancer Unit charity, so most people have donated, but if you can't, make sure you donate. Thank you to everyone who made the effort to put this tribute band together. Gary for the idea, and John, I think, did most of the organisation behind the scenes. If I had known John was that good an organiser, he came to the band and went home. If anyone knows that good an organiser, he would have been doing things for the band years ago. Anyway. Now, what a journey it's been for me from taking over in the mid-season 1981 with the 8 Pipers through to 2024 with 13 Worlds wins and 72 championships. I played in 71, but I'm going to claim the 72nd one. But all good stories must come to an end. And it's not all about me, it's about Big Marshall Montgomery Pipe Band and everyone who's played under me for those 43 years. Even right back at the beginning when we were building something special. They're all now part of the history of the band, and sadly I'm now part of the history too. So thank you to everyone who's played for me over the years. We've all made so many unforgettable memories, great performances, championship wins, but most of all lifelong friendships. Those memories will keep us all connected for the rest of our lives. Now, I've had help from many people through the years. I don't like naming individuals. I always like to forget someone, but tonight I'm going to try. I've categorised it to help me not forget anyone. Those who are my tutors, my lead drummers, my pipe sergeant through my history in the band. And it's down to my memories, so hopefully I'll get this right. My memories usually pretty good at these things, but we'll see how it goes. It's something that's not quite right, and I'm sorry, it's totally unintentional. So many have helped me through the years, and it's not puzzling me. Here we go. Tutors. Not everybody will remember some of these people, and some of them are not here with us at home. But Sandy Cummins, my main tutor, with help from Billy Maxwell and John Garrett. Now, Billy Maxwell was a founder member of this band. He mortgaged his house to get the first set of uniforms for the band, so if he hadn't done that, we wouldn't be here tonight. So you must remember that, the former members of the band and founder members. I must mention Jimmy Banks also, who gave me solo duets in the early 80s, which transformed my solo playing. And I also transferred this teaching through the band, especially for MSR playing, and that helped us a lot in the early years. Now, lead drummers, my brother Gordon, backstage there. Together we achieved the dream for a band from Northern Ireland to win the Worlds in 1992 and a Grand Slam in 1993. Now, Gordon was lead drummer right to the end of the 90s, and after Gordon was Andy Scullion, and he helped us get back to the top and win in 2002. Then Keith Orr came into the band, 2002 to 22, the longest serving lead drummer under me, and through the band's most successful period, with 10 World wins in that time. Then, in the last 2 seasons, we had Gareth McLeese, who won 2 drumming championships in his first year in charge. Pipe sergeants. First pipe sergeant, Ian, under me. He was a great mentor to me when I took over in 1981. Were you pipe sergeant in the Cowl? Cowl, you went, okay. I couldn't remember that one. It was David, right, okay. So, after Ian, it was David Chesney. Chesney was pipe sergeant for that first historic Worlds win in 1992 and the Grand Slam in 93. At the end of the 90s, Brian Martin took over as pipe sergeant when we got back to win the Worlds in 2002 and 2004. Alistair Dunn took over after that. Alistair, when I had a stroke in 2004, Alistair took over from me and led the band to 2 championships. We got a first and a second. That's what I mean. I only played in 71 Women's Championship. I didn't play in that one, so that's why there was 71. Alistair continued as pipe sergeant through a most successful period until the end of 2018, when Matt Wilson took over as pipe sergeant and helped lead us to the record-breaking 13 Worlds win in 2022. Now, when thanking people, I can't leave out Frank Andrews, who came into the band in 2002. Frank and I were called the Dream Team by certain members of the band. I wouldn't say that, it's not my nature, but when you look at the results over those years, I think there may be some merit in that title. Frank had a way with tuning the band, and he taught all the other tuners his way, so thanks to him and all the tuners as well. Of course, I have to thank my wife Ruth for putting up with me for all these years. There's no doubt she's had my back and helped me through the good and bad times, and I couldn't have done it without her support, so thanks for that. One of my fears when I decided to retire was that the band wouldn't move forward. I'm so happy that Matt and William are now leading the band, and I know the standards that both of these guys have. I have no doubt that they'll do a brilliant job. I wish them every success in the coming seasons. So thanks to all those that I've mentioned, and everyone else has helped me through the years in the band, and thanks to the tribute band for tonight. It's really emotional playing with the band earlier on. It was excellent, and I thank everybody for putting the time and practicing to play here tonight. I'll never forget my last tune on stage with this group. Thank you. And I'll see you all on the other side of the line.
Okay, folks. Well, you neighbours, just hang yourselves here. By the way, there's a drum corps in this band as well. And if it wasn't for the drum corps, the band would not have had the success that it's had. One of the main people behind it, unfortunately, as I said here, Keith. Keith wasn't fit to make it tonight because he's away on holidays. But we do have the other boss, who gave me a dirty look because I played a 5 there earlier on. Gordon has played in the band for many years, and I would like to ask Richard Coffey Sr. if he would come across and say a couple of quick words and present Gordon with a little presentation. Thank you very much.
Band in 1975 and became leading drummer in 1981. You were always impressed with the playing style of the late Alec Connell of Strathclyde Police. You based your own playing on Alec, and giving more emphasis on ensemble and the melody and enhancing the melody of the pipe corps. This produced many successful results, amazing title records which other bands may find hard to achieve. On retirement in 1998, you were appointed onto the RSPBA adjudication panel and have been a very respected drum judge ever since. Field Marshal have given so many of us joy, pleasure and happiness to the people of Northern Ireland and throughout the world. You have had an outstanding career in drumming, a great person and family man, and for all this I give you the credit you so deserve. I ask you now to accept this gift.
You'll be pleased to hear this is a complete surprise, so I have nothing prepared, so I'm going to be very, very quick. What a privilege to receive this from Richard Coffey, my mentor and teacher. When I took over in 1981, the drum corps had already won the Grade 2 Coil Championships. That was the standard this man achieved for the drum corps, and he taught many of the drummers in it. Many of these fine players here playing tonight have been influenced by Richard, and his musicality has influenced the next generation. And we've got Jamie, his grandson, playing in the corps here tonight, as well as you heard from him earlier on as the current world champion in the Section 4 Juvenile. So that's the standard that we inherited, and that's why we have the musicality that we had. It was the genius of Richard at the front end, the musicality provided by this man through the drum corps that helped this band achieve what it did. So I want to pay tribute to you, and there's no greater pleasure than to receive this from you, Richard.
Okay, folks, you want to hear one more before they go?
Honestly, that was a moment. Yeah. I don't know quite how to sum that up into words. To be here in the audience as Richard was talking so candidly about his career in pipe bands, and then to have that set to close everything off, honestly, the crowd were on their feet, and rightly so. It was such a wonderful tribute to an amazing man who has now left a legacy of piping and drumming second to none. Absolutely fantastic. So, with that being said, we're now in a little bit of a break right now, but we're getting ready for the next half of St. Lawrence O'Toole's performance. Now, everyone is still kind of talking about that sneak preview we got of their new competitive medley for next season. And yeah, everyone's talking about the drumming. So, I'm going to head back into the hall here, and let's get another listen to St. Lawrence O'Toole as they close things off here at the Kids with Cancer Night 2025.
a very, very old Irish tune. And as you can tell, we're trying to get ourselves into concert prep mode because we've got our own concert coming up on the 17th of May in Balbriggan, if anybody would like to attend. It's only a few hours away from, it's only 2 hours actually from here, and even closer if you live closer to Dublin. But as you can tell, we're still in concert prep mode, so forgive the lads here for the start of that performance. But we're going to carry on with a set of hornpipes, and then we're going to finish this section with the second half of our new medley. We played the first half earlier on. Set of hornpipes, 2 tunes written by my dad, Terry Tully. First one called The Meniscus, which is the piece of the Guinness, the head of the Guinness that actually sits just proud of the top of the glass, that doesn't roll over the sides. That's called the Meniscus. And the second one is called The Burst Mattress, which is after a player who used to play in the band, people might remember him, Dave Rickard. And the tune was named The Burst Mattress because his beard looked like a burst mattress, like the springs had come out of the side of it. So, okay, last 2 sets from us. I hope you've really enjoyed your night. We've had a great time being here.
Well, I am joined with Alan and Stephen from St Lawrence Till. How are you folks as well?
Good, yeah.
Yeah,
Exhausted.
Keeping well now. We're tired after today.
I was just going to say, like we were mentioning this morning, like it's quite a drive up for you guys to come here. Yeah.
Well, you're about 2.5. I'm about 3.5, maybe a little under 3.5.
Yeah, but I was up early because my kids were playing in the the Dromore High School solos.
Oh, the solos as well.
Yeah. So my son was on at 9:45. So we had a 7 a.m. start this morning, and it's I don't know what time it is now. So,
ouch. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I have to ask you then, obviously we were treated to two halves of the new medley, and I know a lot of people will be very keen to hear it. What are your thoughts on the new medley, the creation of it all? Where did that all start?
Well, it started because we when we assessed last season and the last number of years, we wanted to come out with a medley this year that had a really strong Irish flavour to it. Yeah. So we said that we wanted to go back to the roots as much as we possibly could and come out with as many really strong musical Irish tunes as possible. So we just took it from there, and I do what I do and Stephen does what he does.
What you do, Stephen, yeah. I have to say the drumming in there, like especially the tenor chord really feature in there. What are your thoughts on the score? It seems fun to play.
Well, same as Alan there, we were trying to, with all of these changes going on in medleys, one roll, now we is drummers playing after the rolls, chanters cutting out. I'm not really into that, but I am into presentation, and I think trying to present what we stand for in the music and try something a little bit, I wouldn't say traditional, but more just, especially in the jig playing and the finisher, trying to create something different that nobody else has done. And we've used a lot more tenor scoring this year than we have ever. But I'm hoping it's going to be in a subtle way more rather than a dominant way.
Oh, it's not dominant at all, no, but that definitely cuts through in places, you know. I think it's fantastic.
We talked a lot about that at the start when we started preparing this medley, that we wanted it to be a strong Irish flavour, but we wanted to be creative with the music as opposed to, and creative with what we do with the music as opposed to being creative with stopping chanters or
the tricks,
the tricks, and that there's a place for all of that, but we didn't feel that was the right time for us this year. We just wanted to go to really strong music with creative arrangements and creative drum scores, creative bass and tenors, creative harmonies. I think we've nailed that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I have to say. And well, did you guys get a chance to listen to the 70s tribute band?
Well, we heard them upstairs in the room.
What are your thoughts on them?
Fantastic.
Great to see it.
Yeah, I think for a group of guys, they only had 4 practices before they played tonight.
I heard that. That's unbelievable.
For a group of guys who have had a lot of experience in piping, but most of them haven't played in competition, or certainly in high level competition, for a long time. I thought they did really, really well today, and they should be proud of themselves.
It created a platform for them. Some of them guys walking out of bands and retired and never picked up their instrument, or they did, but not in bands. And for them to come back and have that hurrahed in a platform like this is fantastic. I've seen William gathered upstairs, and I think he was beaming from ear to ear, enjoying it. And there was Gordon Parks was doing the same. He's looking at the lads playing the scores that were played back in the 90s, and I'm going, "Jeez, do you remember that score? Do you remember this? Do you remember that?" And
that was special.
It's really good. It's great.
Yeah. Really, really good.
And even when I'm 70, I'll be invited back here to play.
Of course you will. Of course you will. Yeah. Well, I have to ask then. You guys have a huge concert coming up. Actually, tell us about that.
So our concert was originally meant to be on the 5th of April, which was designed to be a springboard for us into the competition season. And we've moved the date to the 17th of May because the competition season is quite condensed this year. So we have a local competition on the 10th of May, and then the following weekend we have our own competition or concert in Balbriggan. So that's going to be quite similar to what you would have seen with the medley today. It's very Irish. We've got a lot of slow pieces, well, not a lot, but we've got a couple of slow pieces like The Little Bird and McGillamar. And we have some guest musicians coming with us that will help us with the Irish flavour. So It's an Irish. It's a
Yeah.
pipe band concert. It's in Dublin. It's in Ireland. So we want to make it unique.
Of its place,
Yeah.
I think. Absolutely. So is that the Leinster Championships that you're heading to ahead of that?
That's correct.
Is it that one? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, ourselves in the Rab Show, we're hoping to get to that too, because there's not as many
It's actually a good
majors.
day.
It's a beautiful venue, and the last 2 years they've had really, really good weather. So we're hoping that it's good
Another
for us.
good day.
Yeah, but it's so our competition season effectively starts on the 10th of May, and then we've got our concert on the 17th, and that will give us hopefully it'll give us a really, really good springboard into the season now for the All Irelands on the 5th of July. So that's the next competition for us then.
So that's next down the pipeline then.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I have to say I absolutely loved it. You know, I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. I am now officially a massive St. Lawrence fan. Always have been.
I thought you said that before. That
You've
definitely said that before.
I've definitely said it
You're
before.
rolling with the hounds.
Yeah. But my word, I don't know. You honestly have found tone and all of that. Your band is just singing at the moment. Yeah.
Half the band missing.
Yeah.
There's actually 14 snare drummers on the roster this year.
14, really?
Yeah, we've about half the band. We had half the band here, roughly.
See. Wow, I'm producing that sound with just half the guys?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's special. Alright, now I know it might not come across in recordings, but seriously, if you were to hear and see it in person, you know why I'm sort of falling over myself. That's amazing. But that's bound to be fun to play in that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it is, yes, great.
Yeah, to have that
But
sound.
things are going well, and you've done the work over the winter, and we're actually just received our new drums, and we're in the process of kilts and jackets, and we're hoping to hit the grass running really big time this year. With some amazing new music,
new medley, new drums, new uniform.
Yeah. There you go.
So same uniform, just new.
Just okay.
Just new.
All right.
It's not a tartan kilt now.
There you go. Yeah.
Same uniform, just new.
Yeah. You started the speculation when you were on our show over Christmas, and you talked about we might be getting new drums. Everyone was trying to guess what the drums would look like then. So now
had our drums about 6 weeks ago, but it was nothing got to do with Premier or ourselves.
Yeah.
The whole process of customs and paperwork now is just ridiculous into Ireland. And tariffs and
of course
red flags. It's just, and they actually arrived the day I left to go to Jacksonville to do some teaching, which the wife wasn't too impressed with. 22 boxes landed at the doorstep, and she rang me while I was in the queue at the board the gate into Jacksonville, and I said, "Love, just deal with it, will you?" And she wasn't too impressed.
Stick them in the garage or something. Yeah.
So I couldn't get to them then for 2 weeks, and of course it takes a while when you're setting up them drums for the first time. You've got to set them right and do it the way you.
Takes time for the heads to settle and everything. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, and we've no cases yet, so we're waiting on protection racket. Same issue, only it's
there we go.
It's
like the ringtone.
The Eagles. So it's the same issue. It was just the Yamaha have bought protection racket, and they're looking after all the distribution. And Germany now into Ireland is a paper trails, but
more bureaucracy.
We're carrying boxes around now at the moment because the band that bought our drones wanted the cases too, so they got them. So
there you go. So now the speculation will be what the new uniform will look like. You know,
it'll look the same, just new.
I see.
And nice and clean.
Right. Okay. Cool. So no need to speculate then, folks.
No speculations.
I think we just went through a time of guys coming into the band getting uniforms. The guy that came in after he left got his uniform.
Get hand-me-down.
And it just got to the stage where we said, you know what, we just need to get rid of this now and get it right. So that's what we're doing.
There you go. Fair play. Well, lads, I have to say thank you for coming to Cookstown. What a show. Oh my word. And I can't wait for your concert now coming up in Balbriggan.
Well, that's great. Well, looking forward to having you there, and you're more than welcome to come down early and get some backstage footage if you like.
Love that. There you go. So stay tuned for that.
It's only an hour down the road, bro.
I tell you, there you go.
There's still 60 tickets left if anybody is interested in buying a ticket. They'll be sold pretty quickly.
They will, absolutely. Yeah. Well, here, folks, I'll let you go and get a pint now and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
Thanks a million. Cheers.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
Gary, you've just finished. Just about.
Not too bad. 15 minutes late.
That's too bad.
Not too bad.
How did you find this year's Kids with Cancer event?
More stressful tonight than
really.
Simply because there was 3 bands.
I see. There was a lot happening in this one. Yeah.
Obviously, each band. I don't really know what happened. Obviously during the concert, but I can imagine each band having to try and work timings in with everybody else, and then work around solo performances. But it was in that aspect it was stressful. But I actually think is another one of the brilliant years. Yeah. You know, like as I said earlier, 6 decades of music we covered there.
Yeah, it's amazing, like the breadth of music that was caught tonight, you know. But honestly, the amount of money that we've just seen being raised here.
That was phenomenal.
It's amazing.
You know, so kind of hoping maybe another 10 grand, you know. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah. That works.
So, Gary, I know we say this every year, but after the success of this one, is this it? Is this the end of the road, or are we going?
No, we're back next year.
Nice.
Yeah, we're back next year. The feelers out already for the top act. So
excellent. Yeah. So there you go, folks. In case you've enjoyed all these videos, by the way, you want to get to the next one. And Gary, we're going to say this so many times, but this event sells out every time.
We had 335. Saying that some people didn't turn up. This way we tried to get everybody to pay.
Yeah.
Because that's a better chance that they're actually going to turn up. There's a few didn't turn up, and I'd say that there's a few who did actually come in.
There you go.
A few actually did come in and made up for that. But like, we had to carry about 40 chairs from upstairs. That's the way it goes. Better that than having empty seats.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, Gary, I think this event has been a roaring success, mate.
It certainly has.
Well done.
It's been a good night, and everybody seems to look forward to it and seems to enjoy it. So that's what it's all about.
And do you know what? Well, this is not. We're now going to switch the camera off and go for a pint.
You're talking.
Yeah. But Gary, well done.
Thank you very
Congratulations.
much. All the work that you and the rest of the team put.
Oh, hey.
That's all adds to it. No doubt.
That's
especially computer work.
Well, there you go. So be sure to check out next year's event, and we'll keep you informed then of when it's happening and who all's going to be there. But
all do.
Look at that.
Yes, the piece of history
Look
here.
Look at that.
John McFettery's the grin stuck in the middle of it.
Oh, I don't know. That's it. Yeah. You're witnessing this happening in real time, by the way. That wasn't set up. Wow. There you go. 3 FM bass drumming legends there in one moment. There you go.
And Ian.
And you. There you go.
Hold on
folks,
a second there.
Thanks a million. I'll let this go.
Just got word through there.
Oh, what's this?
4035. The auction brought in £4,035.
Wow. That's tidy right there. There were some surprise items as well that I weren't expecting to go as high as they did. But
and everything didn't go. There was a few obviously been put in the back burner for next year.
Yeah.
So
that's a hell of a total even for the auction. So there you go.
Right.
Folks, we'll see you all in the next one.
Yes.
Gary,
thank you so much
for
your support. It's greatly appreciated. And see you next year.
Indeed, yeah. Thanks, Gary.
Cheers. Rob. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Well, folks, there you have it. St. Lawrence O'Toole absolutely lit this place up, I have to say. Yeah, so not only did we get the first half of the medley performance, but we also got the second. And for those of you out there, that are good at editing, I'm sure by now you could possibly clip those two parts together and get the full set. I'm not going to say that I did that, but anyway, I'm just going to plant that little acorn. But seriously though, St. Lawrence O'Toole tonight honestly were so amazing, and along with the tribute band, and both tribute bands tonight in fact, just absolutely fantastic, and the audience here were really receptive to it as well. And honestly, now it's time for pints. This is the point of the show where the show is over and the after party begins. And let's say this, you can hear the goings on behind me. They're packing up the equipment, and the crack has just started. I reckon that the party here will probably go on to the wee hours. I think the DJ that is playing in the sidebar has been forewarned that he may well be having a late night. So, good luck to the DJ, especially good luck to the bar staff, and that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast from another successful Kids with Cancer event. I have to say, folks, this event does sell out every year for good reason. The quality of music that is on offer here is just amazing, and it stands for itself whenever we are able to present a full podcast on it, and hopefully we've kept you thoroughly entertained. As always, don't forget you can check out all of our videos on our YouTube channel, where we've uploaded quite a lot of the performances from tonight, including those that didn't hit the pod. So if you haven't checked them all out, you can go and check them out up there now on the Big Rab Show on YouTube. folks, thank you all for downloading this week. It's been a bit of a different podcast. I think I am going to go and get myself a pint at this point. Thank you all for downloading, and we will see you all in the next one. Don't forget to send us in your listener mails and everything, and if you did enjoy this episode, let us know, and we'll hopefully attend more events in future. If not, then, hey, had a good night's crack at the same time, and listen to some good tunes. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in the next one. Until then, all the best. Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show Podcast. All the best.